Hi, my name is Lauren, and I'm the very proud mother of a son named Danny who is gay. When Danny was little, he loved to dress up and dance and twirl, and he loved Barbies and little ponies. We had a really supportive family and community, and Danny felt perfectly comfortable just being who he was. Danny's father had died when I was pregnant with Danny, so I was a single mom. And I was scared because I thought Danny might face a lot of hardship in the society, which can be so very cruel. And there was nothing more important to me than that Danny be happy and healthy. Then Danny started elementary school, and he started to get teased by the kids, and also some of the adults around him said things that made him feel like he wasn't acting the way a boy was supposed to act. Danny started getting stomach aches. He started missing a lot of school. He had a playful, joyful, loving spirit, and I didn't want that to be dampened. I didn't know the best way to support Danny all the time. I didn't know if he was gay or if he was transgender. I thought maybe he had some issues with being a boy and didn't like himself. And I looked to different people for support, and a lot of times I got different messages, which were sometimes confusing. One day I went for a walk with a friend of mine. I told him about some of the concerns I had about my son, and he said, you know, maybe Danny wouldn't be that way if he had a father, if he had a strong role model in his life. And I felt self-conscious, like something was wrong with me, that I couldn't find a man to be Danny's father. Danny's dad was really special to me, and I missed him a lot. One time I had a dream that he came back to visit us, and it felt so real. I was so excited that he was going to get to meet his son for the first time. And then I remembered he might not approve of the way Danny is, and he might not approve of how I'm raising him. And I said to myself, he has to know his son for who he is, even if it means he's going to leave after all these years of being gone. And the next morning when I woke up, I was thinking about that dream, and I realized that my allegiance to Danny was so strong that I would defend his right to be who he was with anybody. I had to really be clear where I stood. And once I was clear, I stood with Danny and I supported him to be himself. One of the things I found myself doing was helping him get some tools so that he wouldn't take all the negative messages in and start to feel bad about himself. I was really proud of Danny. When the teasing was getting to him, we'd have a talk and he'd tell me about how somebody teased him and he stood up for himself. He understood a lot at a really young age. He told me he knew that it was really dumb that some toys were for boys and some toys were for girls. And he told me that he liked himself. That made me feel really good. Being Danny's mom was also about trying to create a safer environment for him out in the world. Once there was a meeting about safe schools, and I was invited to speak on a parent panel. I always felt different because I was mixed race, and then on top of it being a single mom and having this little boy that was so different than all the little boys. I really didn't know what the parents were going to think of me. I thought they might judge me. I thought they might judge my son. And I didn't feel completely entitled to just say that my son deserved to be in a world where he could be respected and supported for who he was. And so when I delivered my message, I delivered it with a lot of defensiveness and anger. Later on, talking to friends of mine, I realized, you know what it is? Parents go through their own coming out process. And that's what was happening for me. I think 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade were tougher for Danny. He started trying to fit in more. We would go shopping and all he wanted was dark blue and black and gray. But he was basically a healthy kid. He knew, even though people teased him, that there was nothing really wrong with him. And he had a couple of really good friends who he could be himself around and who stood up for him when he got teased. He did well in school, and when he graduated from 5th grade, I knew that his spirit was still strong. And as I learned to advocate for Danny, I learned that it's more important to be true to my own beliefs than to worry about what other people think. And by him just being who he was, he gave me so much courage and so much strength.